Hello everyone. Today we will start a new topic, that is telegion. Telegion, it is also comes under the eye disorder, and in this eye disorder it is a common disorder which will be occur in many individuals. So we will see what is this telegion and what are the clinical manifestations, what are the causes, and how we have to prevent this disease. So first is the introduction. A telegion is a small, usually painless lump or swelling that appear on your eyelid. In picture, you have already seen that a telegion, it is a small, and it is usually painless lump or swelling which will be appear on the eyelid of the person. So how it will be occur? It will be blocked. Neo, Meibomium or oil gland causes this condition. So when the oil gland which will be blocked, so in that condition it will be causes this condition that is called as telegion. So it can develop on the upper or lower eyelid, means it will be occur in any area, like it will be occur in upper eyelid or as well as it will be occur in the lower eyelid, and may disappear without treatment, and sometimes it will be disappear without treatment also. So telegion is the term for multiple telegion, means when the person is having the problem of multiple telegion also, it is means this is a term that is comes under the multiple telegion. Telegion is sometimes confused with an internal or external style, means when the person is having the problem of telegion, so sometime it will be confusing, means there will be some stye which will be also present in the eye, so it will be confused with an internal or external stye. An internal stye is an infection of the meibomium gland, and telegion may develop after stye, means when the person is having the problem of infection, if the person is having any infection in the sorry, meibomium gland, so after these infection which will be occur in that gland, so telegion may develop after stye, means firstly the person which will be having the problem of stye, and after that the telegion which will be developed in the patient eyelid. A telegion is a slowly developing lump that formed due to blockage and swelling of oil gland in the eyelid. In previous slide also we will see that it is a painless lump and it will be slowly growing, means ये धीरे धीरे grow करता है. And how it will be occur and why it will be occur? It will be occur because of the blockage or swelling of an oil gland. When the oil gland which will be blocked, so in that time this type of telegion which will be developed. A telegion is generally not an infection. It is generally not an infection. It often start out as a very small red tender swollen area of the eyelid, means previously when the person is developing this telegion, in that time we will see that the person is having the problem of a small red tender swollen area of the eyelid, but slowly it will be progressive. In a few days it may change to a painless slow growing lump the size of the means and then slowly it will be growing, and after a few days we will see that the size of that means telegion that will be increased, and the size it will be looks like a peanut or pea or mutton. Then here you will see this is normal eyelid and this is the telegion eyelid, means this is telegion, this one is telegion. Then what are the characteristic of telegion? So in characteristic of telegion, it is a painless bump, means swelling which will be occur in that area, and it will be painless, caused by thickening of fluid when the oil gland which will be blocked. So when the blockage which will be occur, so because of this the thickening of the fluid which will be occur in that area, and it will be creating the telegion or the swelled area in the eyelid. Then tearing and mild irritation. When the person is having the problem of this chalazion, so because of this the tearing which will be occur, because it will be creating the irritation. So when the person which will be closing the eyes or opening the eyes, in that time it will be the eyelid which will be creating the irritation into the eyes, so it will be creating the tearing also. Then because of this the person is having the problem of blurred vision. Then more common in adult then children. It will be mainly common in the adult, then it will be in children, and most frequently occur in people which will be aged group of 30 to 50 years. Then what are the risk factors? So the risk factors which will be this acne rosacea. If the person is having the problem of acne rosacea or any infection which will be occur, so because of this it will be creating the chalazion. Then chronic blepharitis. Chronic blepharitis means it is the inflammation of the eyelids, often from excess bacteria. Means when the person is having the problem of excessive bacteria in the eyes, so it will be creating the inflammation of the eyelid, and because of this it will be developing the chance of chalazion. Then next is the seborrhea. uh, Seborrhea, it is also an infectious disorder. So in this infectious disorder, you will see that the person is having the problem of infection. So this such type of infection, the person may be developing the chance of this chalazion. So it is when the excessive discharges of the sebum gland, जब excess amount में sebum discharge करने लगता है, so it will be also creating the infection, and the person may be developing the chance of this chalazion. Then next is the tuberculosis. If the person is having the problem of tuberculosis, so because of that infection or Mycobacterium tuberculosis, it will be also creating the chalazion. Then if the person is having the problem of viral infections, then rarely they may be an indication of an infection or skin cancer, but it will be very rare condition. Then next is the marginal chalazion. Marginal chalazion means nodules, but infected chalazion may result in perspicial cellulitis. Means a marginal chalazion means it is a nodule, but it is a infected chalazion which will be occur because of cellulitis, means inflammation in the cells. So because of this the person may be developing this marginal chalazion. Marginal chalazion are those located at the eyelid margin and usually result from superior extension of a lower lid chalazion beyond the lid margin. Means by the name itself we will see that the marginal chalazion means these are those located at the eyelid margin. Means it will be located at the eyelid margin and usually it will be results from superior extension. Means it will be present in the lower lid which will be beyond the lid margin. Then or inferior extension. So in inferior extension means of an upper lid chalazion. Inferior extension means it will be comes under the upper lid chalazion beyond the lid margin. So it is called as a marginal chalazion. It is also reddish nodule. You will see this is the picture of the marginal chalazion. So it is also reddish nodule like chalazion. The clinical feature that will be fat and treatment is similar to chalazion only. Then next is the pathophysiology. In pathophysiology, we will previously we have seen that this chalazion which will be occur because of when the blockage of the oil gland or meibomian glands are a sebaceous glands found in the eyelid. So when it will be this oil glands which will be the sebaceous are a sebaceous gland which will be found in the eye gland. So they secrete oily components of tear. Means it will be responsible for secreting the oily component for producing the tear. So what will be happen? So when the chalazion or inflammatory lesions that form due to stasis of gland secretion with resultant inspissation of the gland orifice. Means in this, what will be occur, the inflammatory lesions that form due to stasis. Means when the blockage which will be occur in this oil gland, so in that way the person is having the problem of this gland which will be secrete. So when due to stasis of gland secretion, so when it will be secreting some stasis, so it will be resulted in inspissation of the gland orifice. So what is this inspissation? Inspissation, it is a process that will be used when heating high protein containing media, for example to enable recovery of bacteria for testing. Once inspissation has occurred, any stained bacteria such as mycobacteria can then be isolated. So in this inspissation of gland orifice and inside a granulomatous, means when this inspissation which will be occur, so in this inspissation you will see that the bacteria which will be this the bacteria can then be isolated. So because of this bacteria, the granulomatous inflammatory response which will be shown in that particular area, then what will be occur, it will be results from conjunctival granuloma. So in conjunctival granuloma, uh, the gland which will be uh, embedded in a tarsal plate. So what embedded means, it is fixed firmly and deep into surrounding the mass. Means these gland which will be fixed in the tarsal plate of the eyelid. So when that this gland which will be fixed in the tarsal plate of the eyelid, so therefore the edema which will be occur. And why the edema which will be occur? Due to the blockage of this gland. So when the gland which will be blocked, so there will be no space for means passaging the fluid. So because of this, the edema which will be developed, it is ordinarily contained to conjunctival portion of the lid, and it will be present in the conjunctival portion of the lid. So in this way, a chalazion may enlarge and break through the tarsal plate to the external portion of the lid, and slowly this edema which will be enlarged and break through the tarsal plate, and it will be break through the tarsal plate to the external portion of the lid, and then chalazion due to blockage of Jay's gland. So what is this Jay's gland? Jay's gland, these are usually located along the lid margin. Means it will be also present in the lid margin. In previous slide we have seen the marginal chalazion. So in this we will see the lid margin which will be also present. So the Jay's gland which will be occurring the inflammation is termed as the external chalazion, and the Meibomian gland which will be inflammation is termed as a internal chalazion. Means when the Jay's gland inflamed, then it is called as a external chalazion, and then the when the meibomium gland which will be inflamed, so it is called as a internal chalazion. So in this you will be see that chalazion in meibomium gland. This one, this is the normal, and this is the chalazion in the gland. Then this is the another picture of the chalazion. Then chalazion differ from hordeola in that they form as a result of gland obstruction. Means it will be it will be occur because of gland obstruction and sterile inflammation rather than infection. Means it will be not occur because of, it will be not creating an infection, it is a sterile inflammation, and it will be occur because of obstruction. A chalazion which will be characterized by a mass of granulation tissue and chronic inflammation, and internal or external hordeolum is primarily represent acute focal infectious process with necrotic debris, that is called as a abscess. So this is the pathophysiology. In pathophysiology you will see that what are the risk factor, and due to the risk factor you will see that it will be creating the obstruction in the meibomium gland, and when the obstruction which will be occur, it will be creating the edema. So when the edema which will be occur, so the fluid which will be accumulated, so when the fluid which will be accumulated, it will be creating in the edema or swelling in the this marginal lead, and in eyelid also. So when the person is having the problem of obstruction in the Jay's gland, so it is called as external chalazion, and when the obstruction in the meibomium gland, then it is called as a internal chalazion. Then this is the pathogenesis. In pathogenesis, you will be clear what will be occur. So mild grade infection of meibomium gland by low virulence organisms, when the organisms or the microorganisms which will be creating the mild infection or mild grade infection in the gland, so what will be occur, it will be creating the proliferation of the epithelium. So when the proliferation which will be occur, so because of this proliferation of the epithelium cells and infiltration of the wall and ducts. So when the proliferation of epithelium cells and the infiltration of the wall of duct, it will be causing the blockage of the duct. So when the blockage of the duct which will be occur, so it will be retain the secretion, means the secretions which will be retained, मतलब वो जमा होने लगता है. So because of this retention of the secretion in gland, it will be causing the enlargement in the eyelid, मतलब ये eyelid में enlarge होने लगता है. Then extravasate secretion is fatty, it act like irritants and causes chalazion. Means when we will see a person, then it will be showing that the person is having the problem of irritation. So this is called as a pathogenesis. The next is the clinical feature. So in clinical feature, it is painless, gradually increasing swelling in the eyelid without external sign, means it will be not showing any external sign, but the painless swelling which will be occur in the eyelid. Then palpitation, indication small nodule in the substance of the eyelid, means the person feels that the person is having the problem of palpitation, which will be indicates that the small nodules which will be formed in the eyelid. Then eversion of the eyelid shows that the conjunctiva is red. When the that nodule which will be which will be slowly slowly developed, so in that time you will see that the conjunctiva which will be red or purple over the nodule, or it will be making a circle over the nodule. There may be fleshy mass if the lesion has ruptured through the conjunctiva. If that lesion, means when the lesion which will be, or the means the nodule or the lesion which will be means enlarged, and if it will be ruptured, so it will be look like a fleshy mass. Then blurred vision may occur due to astigmatism, which will be caused by large chalazion of upper eyelid pressing the cornea. Means if the person is having the problem of large chalazion, means the size of the chalazion which will be very large, so it will be pressing the cornea. So when it will be pressing the cornea, so the person which will be having the problem of astigmatism. So in previous class we have already discussed about the refractive error. In refractive error you will see that the astigmatism means the person which will be not able to the person which will be not able to see the proper image of means far-sightedness or near-sightedness. So the person is having the problem of blurred vision. Then what are the diagnosis? So a chalazion is best diagnosed by an eye doctor who can advise you on treatment option. Necessary testing might include patient history. First we have to take the patient history. In this what are things included, that will be to determine symptoms and the presence of any general health problems that may be contributing to the eye problem. We have to ask that the patient is having any eye problem and any previous history of this chalazion. Then external examination of the eye, it include lead structure, the doctor which will be seeing the structure of the lead, then skin texture and eyelash appearance. Then after that, evaluation of the lead margin. So base of the eyelashes and oil gland which will be opening using bright light and magnification, means the evaluation of the lead margin. So how the doctor which will be evaluate the lead margins, it will be base of the eyelashes and oil gland opening using bright light, means the doctor which will be using the bright light and magnification, and they will see the glands, oil glands which will be open or not. Then differential diagnosis in this, there will be sebaceous gland adenoma, or the person is having the problem of sebaceous gland carcinoma, sarcoid granuloma, or dermal tuberculosis, fungal infection, or any foreign body granuloma. So it will be comes under the differential diagnosis. The next is the treatment. So in home treatment, a chalazion usually require very little medical treatment and tend to clear up its own within a few weeks. Means it will be clear up, own it will be clear up within few weeks. There are several safe way to promote drainage and speed up the healing process. These will warm compress, means when the means when the lump which will be occur, or the nodule which will be occur in the eyelid, so it will be creating the pus formation in this or the sebum which will be present in the this nodule. So it will be drain out, means when it will be enlarged, after few days it will be drain out, and the liquid which will be pass out. So how means how it will be drained, it will be with the help of warm compression, gentle massage, then over the counter. So how we have to do the warm compression? Applying a warm compress to the affected eye can help to soften any hardened oil blocking the gland duct. Means when we will applying a warm compression, warm compression, it will be affect the eye. So how it will be affected? It will be basically what is the problem behind this chalazion? So the cause which will be blocking the oil gland. So with the help of this warm compression, it will be softening that hardened oil blocking the gland duct. To make and use a warm compress, soak a soft clean cloth or cotton pad in a bowl or warm water. Firstly, we have to soak a soft clean cloth or cotton pad in a bowl of a warm water, then wring out any excess liquid, means we have to squeeze out any excess liquid, then apply the damp cloth or pad to the eyelid for 10 to 15 minutes. So whenever we will give the instruction to the patient, so we will give these all instruction, and the instruction it should be step by step, means more liquid or excess liquid it will be not present in the pad or the means in means cloth, clean cloth, so it will be creating the irritation. So first we have to instruct the patient or the patient's relative to means squeeze out excess liquid, then apply the pad, damp pad or the cloth to the eyelid for 10 to 15 minutes, then continue wetting the compress often to keep it warm. So continuing, we have to wetting the compress often to keep it warm, then repeat this several times a day until the swelling goes down. So it will be for it will be used for several days until the swelling goes down. Then these are the home remedies. So in home remedies for eyelid cyst, that will be warm compression, then we have to do the massage, then guava leaves, we have to eat the guava leaves, then apple cider vinegar, then castor oil or green tea bags. So these are the home remedies which will be used for if the patient is having the problem of chalazion. Then next, how we have to do the gentle massage. So gentle massaging of the eyelid for several minutes each day can help the oil duct drain more effectively. The blockage which will be occur in the oil duct. So when the patient which will be doing the gentle massage, in previous picture, in previous slide you have seen the gentle massage picture. So in this way only we have to give the instruction to the patient that they have to do the gentle massage. So when the patient which will be doing the gentle massage in several times in the eyelid, so it will be means it can help the oil duct which will be drained more effectively, and the slowly the blockage which will be decreases. Then before doing so, ensure that the hands are clean to reduce the risk of infection. So whenever we have to give the instruction to the patient, in that time we have to give the instruction to the patient that before doing the gentle massage into the eyelid, first they have to do the hand washing, so that it will be prevent from the further infection. Then once the chalazion begin to drain, keep the area clean and avoid touching it with bare hands. So once the chalazion begins to drain, means when the fluid which will be drain out, so we have to clean that area, and the area which will be cleaned with a clean cotton or sterile cotton, or is means a clean cloth, and avoid touching it with bare hand, means a contaminated hand, or this naked hand we will not use. So in this way we have to clean that area. Then over the counter treatment. So in over the counter treatment, number of over the counter products can help treat a chalazion or stye. These may reduce irritation, prevent infection, and speed up the healing process. So what we have to do, some of these products include ointment, where the doctor which will be prescribing some ointment or solution, then medicated eye pads. So these all comes under the over the counter treatment. The next is the surgery. It is the most common method of treatment. If it will be not means if it will be not treated by this home remedies or gentle massage or warm compression, so in that time, if the patient is the history of this recurrent chalazion, so the lesion is incised and contents are curated from conjunctival side by vertical incision, means the surgeon which will be giving the vertical incision, and when it will be incised, so the fluid which will be drain out in the conjunctival side. Then what are the complications? So in complication you will see potential complication of chalazion include lash loss, eyelashes which will be also lost, then lid notching, eyelid which will be notching, then other cosmetic deformities which will be occur in the eyelid, then adjunctive infection, the person may be developing the chance of infection, then leads to the development of hordeolum. So sometime the patient which will be having the problem of developing the this hordeolum, hordeolum. So in this hordeolum, it is a stye that is also known as a hordeolum. It is also called as a hordeolum. So it is a bacterial infection which will be occur in a oil gland, means the person is having the problem of bacterial infection which will be present in the oil gland of the eyelid. The internal ones are due to infection of the meibomium gland, while the external ones are due to the infection of the gland of Jay's. Means in previous slide also we have seen that the person is having the problem of infection in internal gland, that will be meibomium gland, and the external gland that is called as a Jay's gland. So it is called as a hordeolum. Then next is the perspital cellulitis. The person is having the problem of inflammation of the cells. So this is the picture of the different types of chalazion. So this is the chalazion, and this one is also another picture of chalazion. Then improperly drained marginal chalazion can result in trichiasis, and it will be leads to eyelashes, a loss of lashes. So means if the improperly drained marginal chalazion, अगर improperly marginal chalazion को drain out किया गया, so क्या हो सकता है, it will be resulting in trichiasis. Trichiasis means it is a ingrowth or introversion of the eyelashes, means the growth of the eyelashes which will be decreased or absent of or loss of eyelashes. Then partially drained chalazion can result in large masses of granulation tissue prolapsing through the conjunctiva or skin, means partially means half if the chalazion which will be drained, it can result in large masses of granulation tissue which will be prolapse, means it will be creating the prolapsation which will be through the conjunctiva, or means it will be affecting the conjunctiva or skin also. Then visual disturbances, here you will see that the inflammation which will be very enlarged, so it will be the patient's eye almost closed, so it will be creating the visual disturbances. It can occur with large chalazion that cause pressure on the cornea. In previous slide we have already discussed that the patient is having the problem of pressure on cornea, and because of this the astigmatism may arise when the lid mass distort and the corneal contour. Then this is a large chalazion can cause astigmatism due to pressure on the cornea. So these all are the picture of the large uh, chalazion. Then how we have to prevent? So cleansing the eye area every day can help to prevent a chalazion from developing or recurring. Means we have to clean the eye every day. It can be prevented chalazion from developing or recurring. Means in this way the chalazion which will be not developed and it will be not recurrent. Sometimes this chalazion which will be creating the recurrent effect in the patient's eyes. So then next is using pre-moistened clean wipes to keep the oil gland from becoming blocked. Means if the person is having the problem of this oil glands which will be blocked, so in this time we have to pre-moisten the cleansing the wipes, or if we are not having this problem also, in that time also we have to do the pre-moisten the cleansing wipes, so that we will keep the oil gland from becoming blocked. So in this way we have to, means pre-moisten the cleansing with the cleansing wipe. It is not creating any effect to our eyes, so we will do these all things. Then avoid rubbing the eyes, we have to not rub the eyes. Then protecting the eye from dust and air pollution, example by wearing sunglasses when outdoors. Then replacing eye makeup every 6 months to prevent bacterial growth. So we have to replace the eye makeup every 6 months to because it will be also creating the bacterial growth in the eye. So in this way we have to wipe, we have to this doing the warm compression, and we have to do the, before doing this we have to do the this hand washing. So these all are about my topic. If anyone having any doubt, then ask me. So thank you everyone.